Hey folks, this is Gray here, and today we're going to be looking at the Oupes 2400 watt portable power station. Now in this video, it'll kind of break down in the aspect of, we'll look at the specifications of the unit, then we'll take it to the bench and get a close-up look at the ports, inputs and outputs of the unit. We'll look at what you get when you buy the unit, like what's inside the box. And also, then we're going to do some testing. I think we're going to use a AC unit. I think a DC AC unit is what we're going to use on this one. And we're also going to push it on the hot plate test as well as the heater test. And we'll also demonstrate how it reacts in overload protection. And then we'll come back to me for final thoughts and wrap up on this unit. And my question to you, my viewers. All right, so let's take a quick look at the specifications of the Oupes 2400 watt. It is 2,232 watt-hour capacity. Again, it has a pure sine wave inverter. As well as a 5,000 watt surge. So basically when you're pushing the unit and something kicks on, let's say your AC unit and the compressor kicks on, or other devices that have a surge when they power on, this has the capability of kind of withstanding that surge up to 5,000 watts max. Also, this has five 2400 watt AC outputs on there. So basically your standard plugins that you would see on most devices on your home appliances. Also, it has a lithium iron phosphate battery, 3,500 life cycles. It has 14 different outputs for multiple devices. You have your Type A's, your quick charges, your Type C's, your battery for your car adapter, as well as DC and your, again, like I specified earlier, your AC outputs. It's have an uninterruptible power supply that reacts in roughly about 30 milliseconds, which is relatively quick. So basically, if you have this unit plugged into your wall or the grid, as I like to call it, and you have it plugged into, let's say, a deep freezer, your refrigerator or whatnot, and the power goes out, the unit will kick on and keep your appliance running continuously as long as the unit has the power to do so. So roughly the kickover is about 30 milliseconds, so most people won't even notice that. It's like a blink of an eye per se, and so relatively quick. It also has 1,000 watts max input charging speed, and what I mean by that, so, and I'll show you here in the test, 1,000 watts means that you can charge the unit with the two power adapters. And that's, we'll talk about that at the wrap up. It has two power adapters, two bricks that can push about 500 watts. And then you could also put 500 watts of solar in there for a total combined of 1,000 watts. And the weight of the unit, if I recall correctly, I think I wrote it down, but hopefully I wrote it down correctly. It's about 45.64 pounds. So it does have some weight to it. But I like it the fact that it has the handles on top versus the old Oupes that had more of a round thing on top, kind of like a handle that way. This has the kind of two handles, which makes it easier to carry when it's close to the body to carry that kind of weight. I don't know if I covered it, but the 5 ways to charge the unit is via AC, via solar, via car, AC and solar, or dual ACs, which is with the dual bricks. All right, so let's take this thing back to the bench, get a close-up look at the ports and whatnot, and then we'll get into testing and we'll wrap it up with me. All right, so what you get when you open up your 2400 portable power station Oupes, you get this handy-dandy instruction booklet, and it kind of gives you the breakdown of everything inside there, how to use it. And I always tell people, you know, to check it out. This kind of gives you an idea what it comes with. As you can see here, kind of what I'm going over. And everything that I kind of touch on in this video, you can see how everything works and whatnot. Funny enough, also you have your warranty card here. As you can see here, the power station itself has a 2-year warranty. If you have the solar panels, 1 year, and the adapters here have 2 years, which is nice. Speaking of which, the adapters. The Oupes comes with two AC adapters, not one, but 2 AC adapters to achieve maximum charging. Or you could use, let's say, if you had this in your vehicle, this is also the adapter to charge via your vehicle adapter. But not one, but 2. So I get it, it works, and it makes sense for what they're doing. And from my understanding, they are doing things differently. They're working on just running a cord like most of the upgraded units are. Not to take away from the unit itself and what it can do, there's 2 of these now instead of just the one thing. And they're, like I said, they're not lightweight or nothing like that. They're kind of hefty. We'll take a look at the front of the unit. The side of the unit has a fan. I think there's 2 fans right here, as well as on this side. There's 2 fans on this side as well. And then you also have your connection ports where you would put those two adapters that I showed you just a few minutes ago. You can put two solar panels and then your two DC connectors, your AC adapter connectors, converted over to DC into these ports here. But we'll get a closer look at that here in a second. And on the back of it, like a lot of these units do have, they have a functioning light, which is nice to have depending on what you're using this for, specifically camping or a power outage, to have an additional light built into the system already so that you don't have to attach lights. But, you know, you can only go so far with this light because the unit does have some weight to it, so it's kind of stationary at that point, and you can turn the light on from there. But let's go ahead and turn the unit on. And you're just going to hold that power button right there, and the unit should power up. We are at 90%. And you see how we have an AC, the DC, and DC here, which basically is going to power different sections of the unit, like most of these units are set up. So let's go ahead and push the DC power button right there. And as you can see, that lights up. This is going to tell me USB-A, USB-C is lit up, so it means that these are actually on and active. And this is my output wattage right here. Now, to go to these, I feel like I don't need to zoom up on this because you guys can kind of see that. You got three of these quick charge 3.0s, USB type A's. You have a standard USB connector, which is your 5-volt 2-amp. And then you have two, they say PD 60 watts, but they're two type C connectors at 60 watts. Now, for a unit this powerful, I would expect it to have dual 100 watts. At least from my perspective, dual 100 watts would have been a better option down here. But they went with the 60 watts. Hey, it is what it is, right, folks? But they had the two 60 watters right there. Now, coming over here to the other side of the DC unit, we're going to go ahead and activate that. And you can see there it says car and DC, just like this one has USB-A and USB Type-C highlighted there. This one says car and DC. These are your two DC inputs right here. And of course, this is going to be your car right there. So depending on which one you're using, you'll be able to see that there, that is being activated, and now it has power to it. Again, with the AC itself, you can see that the AC, pure sine wave inverter at 60 hertz, and currently there's really nothing coming out of it. It says 110. It's kind of giving you an average of what to expect out of this. These do fluctuate a bit, but it's rated for 110 volts. It is a pure sine wave inverter, and it's set at 60 hertz. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is nice, which is something to be expected out of a unit this size. Some of them have 6. This one has 5. But again, it's 100 volt to 120 volt, 2400 watt pure sine wave inverter. And all that really means, folks, is that if you have sensitive electronics due to fluctuations and whatnot, something like this is going to protect those electronics, anything going that, especially with surges and whatnot. As you can see here, it's going to say 12 to 45 volt. And it gives you the information, your Anderson times 2 connectors, 45 by 500 watts, 2 max. So basically all that's going to say, let's go ahead and lift this up. These are your Anderson connectors right here. This is for your solar options. So you can hit multiple solar panels up to 500 watts to charge this unit, which is nice. And then you have your 2 DC plugs here. We're going to go ahead and plug in the other unit. As you see, with the one power brick, we're achieving 186 watt input. Now we're going to go ahead and plug the other one in and see how this jumps. Now that we have the 2 of them plugged in, and it looks like we're topped out about 373, 374. Totally transparent in regards to the input watts, because I think that you can get a little bit more out of it. I am using a connection that's connected to my workbench, so there will be some degradation in power. Because from my understanding, you get a little bit more than this if you connect directly to your plug, like in your wall or whatnot. One thing I did notice is it says 99 hours, and that's going to be your output hours. It doesn't tell me how long it's going to take to charge. Sometimes I like the units that do have that option, that kind of say, okay, you know, it's going to take so much time at this amount of power to charge this unit from 90% to 100%. So I do like that in some of the units. This one, it just kind of gives you the output, like if I was using something. And you'll see this change once we attach something to start drawing power from it. So let's go ahead and just do the testing from there. I think we kind of went over everything on the screen that is applicable to the unit itself. And let's kind of get into some testing. We're going to use a DC powered air conditioning unit with the portable power station. These seem to be a lot more efficient running on a portable power station like this or any other portable power station. The DC AC units seem to function and run smoothly and more efficient when you use a portable power station versus plugging them into the wall back there. So let's try that test first and see what the outcome is, the amount of draw it has, and if this thing kicks on and how loud it will be. All right, so we have the unit plugged in here, and we're going to go ahead and turn the AC on it, and then we're going to bring the screen up close so that you can see what's happening on the screen here when I turn the AC power button on. All right, now that I've turned the AC on, you can see there's going to be a draw from this unit here. Right now it's pulling 742 watts. And at 90%, I got 2 hours on that there. So I'm actually going to turn on the unit now to see the kind of draw that it gets. All right, now I got the air condition powered on. You can probably hear the noise level kick up. We'll wait till the compressor kicks on and see if we see a jump in this number here. The compressor is now kicked on. And that seems to be the consistent draw. So do you notice with a unit like a DC powered AC unit, there's not this huge spike. It stays more consistent. So it's more efficient versus a, let's say, you know, a normal, let's say portable AC unit, like a roll around or whatnot, like the Arctic King that I usually use in these videos. You'll see a spike that goes up to 1500 watts or higher when the compressor kicks on. But with these DC units, it's a lot more efficient compared to running a normal AC unit. All right, so I had to turn that off because it was a bit noisy and whatnot. But as you see here, we got 749, right? And that's just the draw because it's charging the battery that's connected to the DC AC unit. God, every time I say that, it just trips me up. But a DC powered AC unit. Anyways, if you can get enough power, so with these units, you know, people always ask me, like, how long would that last? And you can see running at this, it's only going to be 2 hours. But if I had a unit that I could push 749 watts input, let's say I could put 800 watts to charge this unit here, right? And I was pushing 800 watts into this unit, and it was pulling 749 watts out of it, then you would have a continuous situation right there, you know what I mean? So if you can do that via solar specifically, that means that would be the most efficient process, at least from my perspective, because you have more power going into the unit versus going out of the unit. All right, so let's push this thing a little harder. Let's do the hot plate test. This thing draws at a tremendous amount of power, which we'll see here on the screen. We're going to go ahead and turn on one side of the hot plate and then the other side of the hot plate, and we'll bring them all the way up till high, and we'll see how the Oupes 2400 watt handles it, which it should be fine because I think top out this, I think max is like 16 to 1800 watts that this thing will pull. But let's find out. Let's go ahead and turn our AC button back on. As you can see, we have the AC powered up. And I'm going to turn on the first hot plate. We're going to go ahead and turn that all the way to high immediately. Let's see what we get. You can see it's starting to climb. We're at about 568 or so. And that seems to be around 567, 568. So let's turn on the other side of the hot plate on high. We should see this jump tremendously. And we're at 1,434, 35 watts. Now it says 1 hour. So within an hour, that gives me plenty of time to cook a meal if I had to. All right, so we can overload the unit if we like, but sometimes I ask myself, is overloading the unit something applicable to the viewers watching this? I'll plug a heater into this unit and we'll push the unit beyond its capability, see what happens, and go from there. All right, so this little space heater will pull 1500 watts. And as you can see already, we are at 1425. The unit is rated for 2400 watts. So most likely this will go into protect mode once we turn this heater on and push the unit beyond its capability. Now, real quick before I do this test, I really suggest to you folks out there to not do this. This is just for testing purposes only. You really don't want to push these units and keep them into protect mode, but from my demonstration purposes is so that you can kind of see how the unit, you know, reacts to certain things and if it recovers and whatnot. But in the real world, if this is something you spend your hard-earned money on, I don't suggest pushing your unit till it's in protect mode. Again, this is for demonstration purposes only. All right, let's go ahead and turn on that heater. Enough of my jibber jabbering. All right, first we're going to turn on the fan of the unit. You'll see we're starting to kick up wattage there. I'm going to zoom this up a hair bit. All right, that's a better angle of the screen. Now we're going to put the heater on low. And you can see the wattage starting to go up there. We're up to 1800, 2000, 2100, 2200, and we haven't even hit high yet. So just to kind of give you an idea, it's a 2400 watt portable power station, right? We're pushing 2220 some watts. Everything is running smooth. So the unit itself handles what it say it can handle. So that's always a plus. I've had other units that die before it even gets too close to its operating. Now we're pushing the unit so hard, the fan is kicked on higher. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the decibels of the fan on high. So between 67 and 68 decibels. Still not bad at all, folks. And the reason I'm doing those sound tests is I've gotten a lot of requests. People say, how loud are these units? So that's why I've been doing that. So it looks like we've settled at around 2,186 watts. The unit is doing it efficiently and effectively. It's powering the dual hot plates and the heater at the same time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this unit beyond its capability by putting the heater on high, and you'll see that this will go way beyond the 2400 watts. Here we go. 24, 25, 26, 27, 2,792, 2,000. Folks, I'm quite impressed. The unit is handling, remember it's a 2400 watt portable power station. Right now we're at 2600. It went all up to like 27 and change. Again, the unit is rated at 2400 watts. I'm honestly surprised that we haven't went into protect mode. And I'm just waiting for something to go wrong, but nothing is going wrong. So I'm thoroughly impressed with this Oupes 2400 watt portable power station. It's rated for 2400 watts continuous, and we've been pushing over that at 2600, almost 2700 watts continuous, running a heater and a hot plate at the same time. Two extremely heavy draw appliances. There we go. We finally hit the protect mode right there. You see that blinking? Now we're into protect mode. So I'm going to go ahead and turn all the things I have off. And basically that's going to give you your error code to let you know that you're in protect mode. So here's the question a lot of folks answer. Let's turn the AC part off. Let's turn the unit off. Actually, you don't even have to turn the unit on. That's quite nice. It looks like it reset itself as soon as I turned the AC part off. I'm going to turn the AC back on. It's cleared that error code. And just for fun, I'm going to turn the heater back on. Even though I'm not enjoying it because it's 100 degrees outside. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heater back on. We'll watch that go up. Pulling about 13 to 1400. Things like settling down. 1200. And the unit is running efficiently again, or effectively again. That's simple to clear that code. So if your unit goes into protect mode, just turn the AC part off and then turn it back on once you get it back to normal, and you'll be good to go. Oupes, you did a great job on that. I'm thoroughly impressed that it handled beyond what I expected for a lot longer than most of the units I've tested. All right, folks, so we got to see how the unit performed. Certain things I really liked, certain things I didn't like. And this is, you know, when you do a review, you kind of want to be transparent to your viewers because people are going to end up spending their hard-earned money on something like this. I like the fact that the unit, even when I overpowered the unit during the testing phase, for several minutes, it continued to power those devices, these very high drain devices. That was awesome. Some of the other devices that I've tested in the past will automatically, as soon as it gets near that maximum wattage. So this one's 2400 watts. As soon as it gets near that, let's say if it was going to be 2300 watts, I've seen some units just shut off immediately. They don't really have the surge as they say they do. So this one does have a decent surge where it actually continues to run the units as long as it can before it goes into protect mode. Also, when it did go into protect mode, what I liked about the unit is that all you had to do is push the AC button and then push the AC button back on, and everything was cleared and ready to go. The unit handled it great. So that was a pro for that. Now, to me, this is more of a nitpicking, and I'm going to tell everybody, you know, just because this is how I feel about units, because the technology with these units have gotten a lot better. I don't like the aspect of having two bricks. Two bricks, not one brick, but two bricks. You guys know how I feel about the bricks. I get it, you know, it's just something else that you have to lug around. Why can't it be a standardized just AC plug that you plug into the wall? Like most of the units now that are coming out with all just run a standard AC plug. 3-prong AC plug goes into the unit and it goes into the wall. There's no brick, there's no additional cords in case you lose something. It just will stifle a lot of different issues that can arise from these multiple bricks. And the bricks sometimes are loud because they have fans built into them. These did not, from what I've noticed. You know what I mean? I didn't see them. But maybe because there's two of them, and using two of them, they don't have to have the fan in there to keep it cool. Kind of like my EB3A has a brick that has a fan on it that can be very, very loud and can be annoying at times. But that's just, like I said, my personal opinion. Maybe I'm nitpicking. The weight is about average for a 2400 watt portable power station. There's some lighter and some heavier, so it's kind of like in that mid-range section. Now let's talk about price. Well, currently they're still in their prime phase. So yes, I know prime. People are like, prime what? Prime? Yep, prime's still going on for certain companies. I think there's only a couple of days left because I'm kind of late to the game when it comes to promoting this product and sharing it with you, my viewers, so my apologies. But the retail price, or the current sale price, is $1,099, or roughly $1,100, which breaks down to about 49 cents per watt hour. Now, like I said, it depends. When the price goes back up, I don't know what the non-sale price is at the moment. But for the sale price, that's not too bad. I've seen them go anywhere from 25 cents per watt hour all the way up to like 90-some cents per watt hour, depending on the unit. So you have to find out what's right for you. Well, how many watts do you need? You know what I mean? In your life, do you need something just for some CPAP or nebulizers or anything like that? Then you could use a smaller unit. But if you're using something to get more power out of it, to power your refrigerators, your freezers, and other essential appliances around your home, you're going to need something that's a lot more beefier. And that being said, here's the con when it comes to the Oupes 2400. And what I mean by that specifically is expandability. A lot of other folks are starting to get on the bandwagon that knowing that expandability is key, because sure, you get the 2400 watts, but then as that dies down, then it's gone. So, but if you're trying to power your fridge for an extended period of time, you want to have an extra additional battery. So having the option to add additional batteries, at least even one, would be a pro, or multiples would be phenomenal, which some companies are starting to do. Nothing against the unit itself. The unit on the testing phase did extremely well. I'm happy with the unit itself, but I'm just talking about for people when you're thinking about what you want to spend your money on, you kind of want to figure out what's going to be for you. If you feel that 2400 watts is all you need and you want to have it as a standby for your refrigerator or your deep freezer, it will work effectively and efficiently, because the amount of power that an average fridge draws these days anywhere from 150 to 200 watts, and that's when it increases with the compressor, because my fridge, when it's at temp, only pulls about 50 watts, which is negligible. And my deep freezer pulls probably maybe 0 to 5 watts. And what I mean by that, it just doesn't seem to pull much of anything when I'm looking at the gauges, because I have portable power stations hooked up to a lot of these units, just because I want my food to stay good inside of a power outage, because it's Florida, folks. It's Florida. So that being said, folks, let me know what you think down in the comments about the Oupes 2400. Do you own any Oupes 2400, or do you own any Oupes products? Because I did a review of, I think it was the 1200, I can't remember exactly, a while back. And I'll link that up here if you're looking for something a little smaller. But you can check that out. Like I said, everything has its pros and cons with any portable power station you get. Nothing is absolutely perfect. But Oupes has had some really breakthroughs coming out this year with their huge beast of a system. As well as they're doing other things that I can't discuss at the moment. But they're doing a lot of great things, and I'm looking to see what they push out for either this year or the following year on their product line. So keep an eye on the company. I will put any links or anything like that down in the description. If it is an affiliate link, I get a small kickback from anybody that uses that affiliate link, just to be transparent with you, my viewers. Other than that, folks, look forward to reading your comments. I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember, folks, you are not alone. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in a rebound, and God bless, and thank you so much for watching.